Welcome back to U.S. Farm Report this weekend. Jim McCormick and Mike North joining us. All right, Jim, we've had a little reprieve from this warm weather and the heat last week, but that really was the storyline of Crop Tour last week. As we talk about the debate, is the crop drying down or dying down? What are you hearing from your clients and what impact could that have on production?
Our clients pretty much are saying it is dying down. It's pretty amazing how hard this U-turn this crop has made in the last 10 to 15 days. And that's going to definitely have a detrimental effect. I mean, if you look at where some of this corn's at in the milk stage, they're talking losses of anywhere between 5 and 15% off of the yield just in that stage. And then beans, plain and simple, we're hearing pods being boarded. Essentially 2 to 3 beans in a pod instead of 3 to 4. So in our viewpoint, this crop's getting smaller. We've got more heat coming at us again. Memorial, it's going to feel like Labor Day week. It's going to feel like 4th of July weekend. And it's just not the way we want to see this crop end.
Well, as weather continues to impact the markets, Mike, let's look specifically at corn. Even if we have an average crop, even if we see these yields and the production estimates coming down based on some of this heat and the impact, I mean, when you look at demand today, does it even matter, Mike?
Until we take corn yields below 168, that balance sheet's going to still be pretty fluffy. And so, as you look at the path forward, we could give away another 5 bushels and still feel really comfortable with ending stocks numbers and still making a case for corn to not move very far from $5.
Well, another hurdle. Harvest could be picking up. As you mentioned, Jim, things are drying down or dying down really quickly. We could see harvest hit pretty quickly. We saw a very mature crop on Crop Tour last week. But as you look at some of the challenges that could hit right at harvest, we're looking at low river levels on this Mississippi River. What kind of challenges could those create for moving grain at a time when we're going to be harvesting this crop?
Well, what's going to happen, Tyne, is it's going to essentially drive up the price of shipping. Your barge freights are going to go up. They're not going to be able to load as much out. So that will make us a little bit less cost effective trying to get it down to the Gulf. But on top of that, we do have that drought going on in Panama. So the Panama Canal is also raising rates. It's costing an extra $10 a ton to get the grain through the Panama Canal. So we're finally getting price competitive with South America. But if we can't get this grain shipped due to low river levels, the prices go up. It may make us right back uncompetitive again, unfortunately.
So, Mike, what are some things some producers need to be doing to protect these prices ahead of harvest, considering we could see some logistical challenges?
Well, building off of Jim's comments, the first thing you have to be watching for is basis, because the buyer's response to all the things he pointed out is to widen basis, lower basis, to make it less advantageous. And so if I'm a seller and I've already got hedge to arrives in place because I made sales earlier, I'm not going to be waiting around to see if basis can get any better. Likely it's going to get worse. And as you talk about, flat price forward, there is going to be, and still is, some pretty strong carry in this market. So as I look at this, the other thing to do is defer the decision and not deliver this fall, but to use storage to take advantage of a stronger carry and avoid the forthcoming basis hurdle that we're going to have to overcome because of all these logistical elements at play.
We talked a lot about corn, but Jim, when you look at soybeans, we know the scenario is a tad different there. And you look at the heat and the potential impact it's having. Do you think there is more potential for upward prices when it comes to soybeans?
I do think beans have a better opportunity. Like Mike said, the corn balance sheet really does have a lot of room for it. The beans do not. If these bean yields would fall down to the 47, 48 level, like some people are suggesting it could happen due to this late heat, we would believe we would have to move these prices higher in a way to essentially ration out demand, which could be a little bit tough with the growing biodiesel demand we're going to see, as well as try to encourage South America to produce even more beans, because that balance sheet would get incredibly tight with those kind of yields.
Well, there was some good news on the demand front for wheat and soybeans when it comes to export sales. So we'll talk about that coming up later on U.S. Farm Report.